So the Akhasha. Oh, okay. So I was getting this download basically while I was just thinking. Sometimes I have questions in my mind that I feel need answering, and I follow my intuition, and I either check up on that or think further about it to find connections, and so maybe I'd know what is the universe trying to tell me. The thing about history repeating itself and cycle. Cycles go as small as cell cycles, systemic cycles, maybe the cardiovascular cycle, the menstrual cycle, and all of that, to seasons, winter, summer, to ages or eras. To constellations forming and deforming. Who stores this knowledge, or who has knowledge of a certain point where things were happening like that, a season like that maybe, where now it's not that season, that it does the same thing, like it almost like replays, but we do have some modifications as it goes along, which also stores it in the data. Where is the data stored? It would make sense if for that thing to exist or repeatedly exist at certain points in time, then there should be like a database where knowledge of how it forms or vibrates or interacts is stored for the program to take place. This works. Technology is usually a copy of what happens in nature on a small scale, in what we will need in this 3D realm. Also uses the second hermetic law of correspondence, as above so below, as within so without. If you can see what is above or what is within before its actual manifestation without, which means on earth in physicality. Above being within, because for you to imagine above or even have a concept of above, you have to go within. You can't look at what is outside of you and describe what is above. Right? So it will be something that is certain levels better than what you see on the outside. But the construct or the idea of it will carry tones of what is outside for reference. Which means these things are actually the same principle, same idea, just at different levels or frequencies, because the frequencies will determine the level, because now it is frequencies basically the amount of times, like oscillations, it's an amount of times cycles, certain certain cycles happen in a space of time. It's velocity. Oh my word, why am I not being able to explain this in layman's terms? Okay, let's do this. I'll record it as I am thinking about it and getting it now, and then I'll listen to it, and then I will then attempt to do a more simpler one explaining the same thing, and then I'll upload both of them. I think that will work. So using the principle of correspondence, you can basically generate whatever is in these four spaces or dimensions that you have access in into the 3D or into any other dimensions that you see. You can use something similar to that, just needed at maybe a smaller scale for your smaller hands to be able to handle smaller perception or range of colors or ideas or patterns that are already established, and so you will collapse that idea of vibration into what you know. However, I have to drink water in its entirety. Okay. The idea by itself had a potential to be way better, maybe, or just a little bit better. It had a potential of a range that could be a difference between designer and regular shop kind of merchandise. Could be a difference between yacht cruising, owning the yacht, and renting the yacht for pictures to act like you own the yacht. I'm not throwing shade. We live in a world where we have been made to value perception more than actually value or truth of that matter. So as long as it looks like this, even if it's false, and I get the reaction that looks like this, then I'll be happy. And I'm completely in disregard of the fact that all of that was false because I orchestrated it and planned it to be like that, but it's not actually truth. So, and me fooling the other people, am I not fooling myself also? Because now I'm happy because I gave them what they wanted, and now they look at me the way that I want them to look at me. So where are you in all of this? Not the actual you. Where is that person or that soul being able to breathe and express and live in the 24 hours if the 24 hours is used for concepts of what you think? Because maybe it's not even like that in that person's head. What you think certain people need to see in order for you to seem a certain way which also maybe it's not even something that is important to you or your soul or your mission. It's because it's what you see as what the majority sees as important, which most of the time is also not what their souls see as important, but it just through fear of not belonging and not being normal, in inverted commas, because I've never believed in normality ever since I was a young beginning, a child. There's no such thing as normal because the range is just too big. The problem is that's why there ends up being hate and like forced now we focus of being fixated so much in making things seem like or look like that we forgot about the essence of actually making them like that. We use all our energy in the image of it being like this instead of actually working on what could make me get to this image, or why am I actually working so hard to make these certain people see me like this? How is it benefiting my life? Am I happy when I'm doing that? Or is it now an added job that I'm doing that does not pay? So it will add resentment as to frustration of having to have to do it. And now you can't put it all on yourself, so you end up putting it on me. That time I was not even involved in all of this idea that you are on about. Maybe I just see through your act, but it just take a lot of energy and maybe unnecessary arguments to tell you that I can see that you are being fake. Or maybe I don't see, maybe you fooled me. Okay, so in the end, what are you gaining? Yeah, unless it's theft, where you make a person think of you as something else so that they can give you money. I consider that as theft because it's not by their will, that person they influenced by your kind of a conniving will. But people just do it for 0 cents, and I mean cents by money. It just happened to be a pan. That's a good word. Okay. Alright. I'll have to do a much more clearer video because I'm channeling a lot of things at once, and so it's kind of dizzying. I end up not even making sense because maybe it's 40% of what I was thinking that I've recorded.